Being transparent and open to sharing with families, with the community, and even beyond that is a way to build trust. It's a way to make people feel more involved and to see inside. It's a way to tear the walls of this school down.
Welcome to the Hack Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Barnes, providing right now solutions to some of your biggest teaching and learning problems. Now, let's hack learning. And today we are hacking community building in education. In the open, you heard from Bethany Hill, a building principal, but she likes to call herself a lead learner. This is a concept we learn a lot about in our new book, Hacking Leadership. And Bethany, a principal, has a lot of the same ideas that school leaders Joe Sanfilippo and Tony Sinanis, authors of Hacking Leadership, have. So in the open, you heard Bethany talking about the idea of sharing, not just sharing ideas within a staff, but with teachers sharing with their students, with students sharing with teachers, and then sending that out to the community, parents and community members, to sort of build this unique education community. Bethany Hill is the author of the blog Learning and Leading, A Lifelong Journey, where she talks about building this incredible community and a lot of other amazing leadership skills. And right now, we're talking a great deal about leadership, again, with the release of Hacking Leadership. So you can learn more about Bethany at hacklearningpodcast.com, where, again, we are talking about community building in education. And this is episode 46 on the show notes page at hacklearningpodcast.com. I talked to Bethany about the idea of being a lead learner, about the idea of community building and empowering all education stakeholders. I asked her if she wants to build this community, and we're talking about within our building and outside of our building. I said, what do you do to build this community? How does it work? And what kind of tools do educators need to build a powerful community of teachers and learners? Let's listen to what Bethany says.
One of my most powerful tools that I take advantage of on a daily basis is social media. And the first thing I would encourage anyone who is stepping into a leadership role, maybe for the first time as an administrator or a building leader, or if someone is looking to really open up the culture and provide opportunities for more people to be involved, I would suggest to immediately get connected on social media, as far as creating a Twitter account, creating a Facebook page, creating an Instagram account. Those three are the three that I use the most, and I have found it to be incredibly powerful to not just our families, but to our community as well. I have had businesses take notice of what we do at school. I've had a lot more involvement with the community, a lot more support as far as our family room goes, with our food pantry, our clothing closet. People want to be a part of it.
Bethany talks about joining the community where they are. She told me that she doesn't like to wait for parents and community leaders to come into the building. She says we need to go to them. So they create things at their school that will interest the community, and then they share them. And she says the community wants to be part of what they're doing, but they have to continue to work to do that. It doesn't just happen automatically. Listen to what Bethany says about how to engage the community and help them to become part of this amazing environment of teaching and learning that she and her teachers are working to create.
Through the use of social media, through sharing, through celebrating, through promoting, through branding, most of all, we can sell our school and promote it and let everyone know who we are and why we are here, and that we are all about kids. It's kids first. It's always kids. It's about them. And so there is no doubt of that when it's visible to the public when they see pictures, when they see evidence of what kids are doing and what teachers are doing to help students. And so I love to make those connections with families. I love to brag on kids, to brag on teachers, and even to brag on our families sometimes for volunteering, for helping, and to just make that connection stronger.
So, school leader, building principal, or lead learner, as she likes to refer to herself, Bethany Hill, also a global educator, author of the popular Learning and Leading blog, says that she wants to build community with social media. Her first go-to tool she discusses is social media and talks about getting started there to find out where your community members are, your stakeholders, your parents, your community leaders, other colleagues, maybe other districts, and to find these people that you can connect with. She says go to social media where they are and share. And I mean, that's what social media is. It's about sharing. So take the great things you're doing in your building and share those things with your community. And realize that your community is not just your teachers and your students. And share with that community constantly to, celebrate what you're doing, to sort of build your brand. And in order to do this, what you have to do is build relationships. I mentioned Hacking Leadership, 10 Ways Great Leaders Inspire Learning that teachers, students, and parents love, by Joe Sanfilippo and Tony Sinanis. And I think that Bethany Hill really embodies so much of the ideas that are in this book in talking about using social media to connect, talking about sharing, and really a lot of what she discusses is empowerment, because that's such an important part of community building, because the teachers have to be part of this. And in order to get teachers to embrace what you're doing, we need to empower them to improve themselves, to help with the sharing that you're doing as a school leader. And that's really important. And you have to facilitate that relationship, and you have to help them to be successful, to build this community. And Bethany has some great points about how to nurture those relationships.
One of the things that really, really supports teacher empowerment is to give them resources to take charge of their own learning and growth. And, in our teacher profession, we provide professional development for teachers, in the summer, maybe after school and faculty meetings, or even through online courses and things like that. But what I hope to spread to teachers is for them to know that they don't have to wait for a session to sign up or for a conference to attend in order to learn something new that will immediately impact kids the next day or even the next hour. Because if we can take advantage of technology in the form of Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, Facebook pages, various outlets like that, especially blog posts that are linked to those sites, we can learn something in a planned period that can immediately affect kids in a positive way 50 minutes later.
So Bethany says, empowering teachers through social media, online courses, other resources like blogs, things you find on social media. If you go to Twitter, and we've talked about this in other episodes, if you go to Twitter, if you go to a Facebook group, other places, Pinterest, you will find resources linked there that go to articles, videos, online courses, incredible sources of information that can make you better. So to connect the dots here, I think what Bethany is saying is we want to build community, and we want to do that using social media to show off the incredible things we're doing in our building with teaching and learning. And we also want to make sure that we include all stakeholders. We want our teachers, they're the ones really, when you think about it, driving this bus. We want teachers to feel empowered. So we're not just going to run to them and dictate what they do, what they show off. We're going to say, we want you to be an independent learner. We want you to go out, make yourself better, to understand all of the tools that are available. And you can do that through social media. You can go find the online course. You can use Twitter. You can find the links. All of the power that you need to be empowered is really there.
The power of sharing is just beyond measure in education. And I think in the past, we haven't been a profession of sharing. We've kind of been in our little silos, and it's been somewhat of a lonely profession. One of my favorite moments is when a teacher pops their head in and says, "Hey, do you have a minute? I have something new I want to share." You can see that glow and that excitement in their eyes when they have found something that they think will work for kids. And you don't stop there. If they learn it and they want to implement it, then they know that they're going to have to turn around and share it with other people, because if it can help their kids, that means it can help other kids in our building and even beyond our building by sharing it publicly. So I think the more that we can do that, the more we can share, collaborate, and take charge of our own learning, the more empowered we will be as educators.
As always on the Hack Learning Podcast, we like to take away things that we can implement immediately. And I think that Bethany Hill has given us so many things that we can take away from here about building a community in education and involving all stakeholders. And there's some things you can do tomorrow. And we love that in Hack Learning, what you can do tomorrow. It's in every chapter of every book in the Hack Learning series. So what might you do tomorrow? Get connected. Because I think Bethany Hill is saying this is really about sharing. And the best way to build communication within all of our community is through sharing. Share the great things our kids are doing. Share the movements that we're creating within our buildings. Share the voices of parents and community members. Get on Twitter. See if your school has a Facebook account and connect there. Reach out to teachers through any online assessment programs that they're sharing with you. If they have an e-portfolio where you can look at your students' work, something like FreshGrade, an amazing tool that creates transparency in education and a two-way conversation. And you can learn more about FreshGrade at freshgrade.com. And that's just one of many ways that we can communicate. So the key takeaway, I think, here for what you can do tomorrow is use the connecting tools, your social networks, to connect with your teachers, with your school leaders, and community members to build this incredible community of learners that Bethany Hill is talking about. Hey, there's so much here that is contained in our new book, Hacking Leadership, 10 Ways Great Leaders Inspire a Learning That Teachers, Students, and Parents Love by Joe Sanfilippo and Tony Sinanis. Learn more about it on our show notes page at hacklearningpodcast.com and learn more about it at hacklearning.org in our books section. As always, we continue the conversation at #HackLearning on Twitter and on the show notes page at hacklearningpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time. The Hack Learning Podcast is a proud member of the Education Podcast Network. Check it out today.